Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. I am the Athletic Geek, and I'm joined this week by
Nick.
Nick is back for the Money in the Bank predictions episode. Money in the Bank will be going on, well, by the time this is uploaded tonight. So, I'm going to do some quick predictions, and if you don't, the only downside of this episode is if you don't watch it before Money in the Bank, it's pretty well a useless episode. So, watch this one bright and early with breakfast. But before we go any further, this is the Just Two Marks Wrestling Recap Show. Me and Nick love professional wrestling, love to talk about professional wrestling, love to give our thoughts on professional wrestling, but we are not part of the wrestling business. We are not insiders. We do not use, or at least try not to use, insider terms when talking about wrestling because despite our love of the professional wrestling business and the story unfolding before us, at the end of the day, we're not experts, we're not writers, we are just two marks. So, I'm not going to waste any more time. Money in the Bank predictions!
Alright, let's start off with the assumed pre-show match. Bludgeon Brothers versus the Good Brothers for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
The Good Brothers.
Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson.
They're not calling them the club?
Well, they're a club. I don't know what they are. But they're the Good Brothers.
They're the Good Brothers. Who have you got and why, Nick?
Bludgeon Brothers. Because, I mean...
Yeah, it's Bludgeon Brothers. Bludgeon Brothers. Oh, just something else I'm just going to point out, as I did on some previous prediction episodes we've done. Don't be expecting some kind of punishment where the loser's going to get their head shaved or go do something stupid like on other wrestling YouTube channels. We're not about that, so... If that's what you wanted, sorry? Alright, anyway. Yeah, I'm going Bludgeon Brothers to retain this one.
Yeah, there's no... I like Anderson, Gallows. I would like to see them win the championship at some point, but it doesn't make any sense narratively for them to win right now.
It would be really cool if they won and then AJ retained.
Yeah. Because
it would be cool because you would have... In New Japan, you would have Omega and the Bucks as the IWGP Tag Team Champions and Heavyweight Champion. And then in WWE, you would have AJ as the WWE Champion and then Gallows and Anderson as the Tag Team Champion. That would be cool, just from like a, just from a fan perspective, but lots of things would be cool. It's just probably not going to happen. They're doing too much with the Bludgeon Brothers. What was that?
I don't know what that was. But yeah.
There was a loud ping here in the wrestling area of Athletic EKHQ.
So yeah, that's I'm glad that it's at least, I don't know what's going on with the tag team division, but
it seems better on Raw actually. It's not great, but it seems better.
Yeah, there's more direction at least.
You know, I'm becoming a B. I'm a B team fan all the way.
Are you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought maybe that would be on this card too, but I guess not.
The next match up on the card is
Daniel Bryan versus Big Cass.
I'm gonna go with Big Cass in this one, not because I want him to win, but just because. To me, it seems like WWE feels like there's something in Big Cass, even though I wholeheartedly disagree with him. I think without Enzo Amore, Big Cass is, just a big smelly ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see that Daniel Bryan beating him 2 pay-per-views in a row. I see Big Cass winning, them probably continuing the feud, and then continuing to think that Big Cass has a future as a main eventer. I hope not, but under duress, picking with my head, not my heart, I'm going with Big Cass in this one.
I'm gonna excuse me. I'm gonna go with Daniel Bryan. Actually, I think this is the end of their little storyline.
I hope you're right. But
it should be. It's
not
done,
good.
It's done what it's served its purpose.
It's not good.
I don't know what its purpose was, but I suppose it served it.
it wasn't very good. Like, I mean, look, I can respect the fact that, like, hey, we think we got something with this guy. Maybe we can put Bryan with him and we can see if that makes him a superstar. Man, see if that makes him a top bad guy on the SmackDown brand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not fucking working. And, I mean, and I'm saying this as somebody who has for, 2-3 months of doing this show said the same thing about Roman Reigns. And it's just like, well, whatever. So, I mean, like, it seems like in this day and age with the whole Roman Reigns thing, like, once WWE on the main roster has their mindset on this is going to be the thing, they don't stop. Yeah. So for that reason, I'm thinking Big Cass is going to win, but it's been terrible. Who would have thought that like I could not be excited about Daniel Bryan coming back? And
yeah,
they've done it.
I guess it really just depends on where they go from here. If they're going to continue to try to have major storylines with Big Cass, then I guess he's gonna win. But I don't know. I kind of see it as a wash. I agree with you that they kind of don't do that. They don't see things as a wash when they are. But I think that it is on to bigger and better things for Daniel Bryan. So next we have Seth Rollins versus Elias for the Intercontinental Championship.
Who have you got and why?
I have Seth Rollins retaining to keep up his wonderful run with the title.
That's so great. He's
the MVP of the company right now for
absolutely
on almost all fronts.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
with the exception of NXT. NXT TakeOver has concluded. I have seen it. He hasn't. So that's just for those wondering. That's why we're not talking about TakeOver tonight. I thought it was great, but he hasn't seen it yet. So
Elias, this would be a good time for Elias to win the title. Like just not maybe in this match, but just literally like in this time frame.
Right.
I think that would be a good move. Elias is
growing on me.
Yeah. I
didn't care for him when he first debuted, but now he's really beginning to grow on me.
I thought he was going to be like a No Way Jose type of debut.
Mm-hmm.
Where he just kind of has, what everyone expected and kind of has happened with No Way Jose. But, credit to him. Anytime they gave him a spot, he really crushed it and continues to do that. So I think that there is a title run in his future, a mid-card United States title or Intercontinental title run. But unless Seth Rollins jumps up to fight Lesnar, which I don't think is going to happen, then it just makes more sense for him to keep it. So
I'm going with Seth Rollins as well. I feel like even, and I may come back here next week and eat a big plate of crow with this, but I feel like even they're not silly enough to stop something this good with no plan of something else happening. Mm-hmm. Like you said, if he's not getting ready to fight Lesnar, if they don't have something else in mind, why would they want to stop? Because they've been doing it within the storyline, mentioning, what a fighting champion Seth Rollins is, as Intercontinental Champion. Be silly to stop something that good, silly to stop something that, can go out there and be the MVP. He's like the new Shawn Michaels. He's the showstopper, at least on the Raw brand, Mm-hmm. And, that belt right there is the catalyst. So, for all of these great matches. So, I'm going to go Seth Rollins. Elias' time is coming. Maybe just not at Money in the Bank.
Yeah. Next, we have Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn.
Lashley, of course.
Yeah, it's got to be
this thing. I'm see Daniel Bryan and Big Cash. This thing has just been so bad.
Silly.
But I mean, it's been so bad to also the point to where a few weeks back, when I had JC sitting in that chair, that was just all we talked about when it came to the Raw review. Was just good God, this is so stupid. There's everything else just paled against, even things we had some good little matches, but it all paled in comparison to the garbage mm-hmm. that was all of this.
Yeah.
And that's a shame because you got two talented people there. You know, I mean, the people who've been listening to this, you know, all four of these people that, you know, watch this show every week, you know, they hear me say, like, this should be something great. This should be something that I'm excited about. But I'm not. Because it's bad. Like, the way they're carrying it out is bad.
Yeah. It's been bad. Sami Zayn. They both deserve better.
Bobby Lashley and Daniel Bryan have been just another guy on the card.
Yeah.
Since they've returned. And that is a damn shame.
You know what I think, and this is the next match we're going to talk about, so we can kind of transition into that there, but it would have made more sense to flip-flop the Roman Reigns and the Lashley feuds to me. I think you put Lashley against Jinder Mahal and have Sami Zayn go against Roman Reigns. Because they're both foregone conclusions to an extent. And just no one in the world wants to see Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns. At least if it's there's
Jinder one Mahal, person that wants to see Jinder Mahal versus Roman Reigns.
One person, but I mean Bobby Lashley putting up against a guy like Sami Zayn, you know what kind of it's an uphill battle for him to get the reception that we all want him to get. Right. You know, because Sami Zayn is so good and everybody loves Sami Zayn. Even if it's hard, it's hard to hate the guy, even though he does a good job of trying to be hated. But that's not the case with Jinder Mahal. So it's just the whole point of this has seemed to give Lashley like something to do. They just gave him the wrong thing to do. Right. So, but yeah, having said that, the next match is Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal. And I think Roman Reigns is going to be the winner.
Roman Reigns is going to be the winner. Yeah, like there's just this is like the ultimate match to Vince McMahon. This match will be when if I need to make a beer run, I will do it during this match because I couldn't give less of a fuck.
Yeah,
and I hate to just say that. I mean, I hate to be that way about wrestling, but you know, it's true. It's how I feel.
Yeah. Don't know why I don't know what they're trying to accomplish with a lot of these stories, and then their stories are bad, and they're not like accomplishing anything, and it's just all I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what's going on in WWE right now.
All right, we are back, and the first thing we're going to talk about is the SmackDown Women's Championship match. It is the champion Carmella versus Asuka. Nick, who you got and why?
I have Asuka winning, but by DQ, and Carmella will still be champion.
I have. Let's see here. I was gonna go with Carmella winning, maybe thanks to a possible returning man with two hands that's gonna give her a fighting chance. But I like your idea better, but I don't want to be a copycat. So I'm going to go with mine. Carmella just wins because they've had no problem just beating Asuka since WrestleMania.
That's
so
true. Yeah.
I'm going to go Carmella with some possible help from James Ellsworth to help her retain.
It should make sense for him to come back. It's logical storytelling, at least, I guess. But, yeah, this could be good. I mean, Asuka can pretty much put on a good match with anybody.
Carmella getting better.
I like Carmella.
She's a good character. She's maybe not like up to snuff in the ring, but she's a good character.
I like Carmella. I'm not upset that this match is fine. Right. I'm not gonna whine about that match like I was the last couple. We'll see.
We're actually part of like, with the exception of the Rollins Elias match, like we're to like the matches we care about now. Yeah. The matches that like we aren't angry in some way about. So
yeah. Next we have the most interesting match, at least as far as outcomes go. In my opinion, Nia Jax versus Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship.
And this is more part of the reason why, even though I liked your answer, I went with my own. I think Ronda will win via DQ. I know it's kind of maybe not the right thing to do with Ronda right out the gate, but I feel like maybe it's not. I feel like they want to get, I feel like that's kind of their way that they can have their cake and eat it too. And the door of the wrestling portion of Athletic Geek HQ is being stupid and interrupted, but, sorry for that proverbial botch there, but back to what I was saying. I feel like WWE kind of wants to have their cake and eat it too. They want to be able to sell some pay-per-views, sell some tickets, sell some network subscriptions, and go, Ronda Rousey going for the belt. Ronda Rousey going for the belt, And, she's wrestling, this other character they developed, Nia Jax. I feel that they're going to have Ronda win via DQ, maybe like with some Natalya stuff.
Yeah.
That kind of gives them the chance they can go, Ronda's still undefeated. We got the extra buys from the people who were interested in seeing if Ronda Rousey will become the women's champion. But we don't have to put the belt on her right now. We can save that for a WrestleMania.
Yeah. I still think this is was a bad idea to have this match, but now that we have it, I'm kind of interested. I'm interested what happens just because I don't really see an outcome that I like, but I don't know. At least it has me interested to see what happens. So I'll give them that.
What's your prediction?
I don't know. I guess Nia Jax retains. It's gonna be some kind of screwy ending. I don't think she's gonna just be. If it's just a straight up normal ending, then it's gonna be Ronda Rousey. So my official prediction is that Nia Jax retains.
Well, which will lead off in some. Do you feel like it's a bad thing to maybe give Rousey a loss this soon?
Yeah, which is why I want to put her in a title match in the first place. I do think it's a bad idea.
Right.
But I also think it's a bad idea for her first singles match to be for the title and win it. So, especially when they were telling this story of her, not going to come in and immediately get a title match, which is what they talked about at WrestleMania. But...
Yep.
But, just kidding. Because Nia Jax really wanted this match for some reason. It's just, it was, I'm at least I'm more interested in this as the match. I'm interested in how the match is going to be. Because Ronda is still, had one match. So we'll see how this is as a singles match. I don't know where they're going or what's going to come out after it. So at least they have me interested in that way.
Right.
And I do care about Ronda Rousey. And I still am worried about how they're going to use her. Find that delicate balance between, the Brock Lesnar effect of being such a huge attraction that you never defend the title and you're never on TV, which is cool. It was cool the first time he was the champion. I'm over it now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't want Ronda Rousey to become that, but I also do wholeheartedly believe that if you're on TV every week that it's not special. No matter how big you are, I guess at this point.
Right.
I mean, you could easily argue that and say that Stone Cold Steve Austin was on TV every week, but I just think that it's just a different presentation.
Right.
Ronda Rousey, as good as she is, isn't Stone Cold Steve Austin. Nobody is. Nobody has been.
Right.
So. But Nia Jax retains due to some kind of. I think it's going to be some Stephanie McMahon stuff.
Right.
But.
Well, which leads us to the WWE title match. Last man standing. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. And I just want to, really point out, as I remember, you were at WrestleMania, we were messaging as their match at WrestleMania was going on. I remember you, I'm not airing dirty laundry, there's a point to this, you kind of going yeah, I'm kind of over Nakamura at this point. Holy shit, this is the career renaissance. That one was the career renaissance he needed.
Definitely.
His interviews where he says he can't speak English, and you know the whole, you know, he mentioned tried to mention because but we didn't last week because the SmackDown portion of mine JC's when we did the episode last week glitched out. But the contract signing, you know, or the pen was out of ink, and this one was broke. Like, it's just so like this is what Nakamura needed to become more than just a guy on the main roster.
Definitely.
Yeah, he wasn't just generic, and yeah, this is exactly what he needed, and
he still hasn't had the match we've all been hoping for, though. No. Maybe this will be it. I don't know at this point. That's also what I meant by over Nakamura, in that he's had one great match since he's been in WWE, and it's his first one. So I mean.
I would say, you know, that leads to another debate, you know, of, well, are they capable of, is a match like, you know, Wrestle Kingdom gonna happen with the somewhat of the restraints that the WWE put on them? That's another debate. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just kind of one of those, might want to keep, you know, those expectations in Japan and then be pleasantly surprised.
They've had better matches than most New Japan matches in WWE this year, though. Not those two, but other wrestlers. So, like, I don't see why they couldn't.
All the New Japan fans are going to be, like, just, like, destroying you after that comment.
Well, I mean, Johnny Gargano has had, just him, you know, alone, has had, like, several matches that are better than most New Japan matches, which I'm sure it was. But, you know, those are all New Japan big show quality matches or better.
Right.
And, you know, so I don't know if I buy into the restraint thing. I know that's on NXT and not the main roster. But,
right.
I mean...
but, tangent aside, I'm going to go AJ in this one. I think AJ is going to... And this will, when we get to the Money in the Bank participants, it will... it'll make more sense for how I think they're going to do things. But I believe AJ finally gets the big, you know, gives Shinsuke the comeuppance that, you know, he's kind of earned since the low blow WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. I think my heart says Shinsuke. My head kind of says AJ, but just a little bit, and I'm going to give it to Shinsuke. I think if they don't do it now, it's going to be too late. This is the absolute last chance, and I mean, why not? Why not give it to Shinsuke? I think that this. I know a lot of people, like I read online and stuff, are tired of this feud. I'm not.
I still think it's
I like it. Yeah, I don't. I mean, I know it's been going on for 6 months now, but. So what? Like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's still, you know, Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal has been going on for 3 weeks. Does that make it automatically a good feud because it's new? No, it doesn't make it a bad feud because it's old either. So,
Yep. I mean, I see what you're saying, but again, just kind of with how I think they're going to be doing Money in the Bank.
It makes, like, narrative sense for AJ to win and then move on. After all of the stuff that, you know, he's
trust me, I would not be complaining whatsoever if Shinsuke won the title and then they could keep this going up to Hell in a Cell or something. But
it makes the most sense to just look at it and be like, oh yeah, this is the end of this arc. Is for him to finally, you know, put a cup on and beat Shinsuke Nakamura once and for all. But yeah. I think, and I still kind of think that's probably what's going to happen, but I'm picking Shinsuke officially.
Okay. Well, all right, so the 2 Money in the Bank matches start with, just because the way it's written down on the sheet, we're going to start with the women's. It is Ember Moon versus Charlotte versus Alexa Bliss versus Becky Lynch versus Natalya versus Lana versus Naomi versus Sasha Banks. Nick, who you got? Why?
I have it down to either Ember Moon or Sasha Banks.
Well, you got to pick one.
Yeah. I think Sasha Banks. I think now is a good time to kind of like revive her back to her like glory days.
Maybe perhaps taking a turn to the bad side?
Maybe. I think that Charlotte and Alexa Bliss don't. There's no. And Lana, I think, are kind of like non-factors. Natalia, there's all the rumors about the Ronda Rousey stuff, which, like, it is kind of obvious that they're building to something there. So that's a distinct possibility. Naomi is another non-factor as far as I'm concerned. Becky Lynch could be a dark horse.
Mm-hmm.
I would love for Becky Lynch to get it. I don't think she will, though. And then that leaves Ember Moon and Sasha Banks. I think Ember Moon is still too new.
Right.
She's doing a really good job of, establishing herself on the main roster, I think.
Right.
Like a better job than a lot of NXT call-ups have.
I would put Ember Moon possibly Women's Royal Rumble winner, especially like I think that you could tell a good story there, like if Asuka's the champion and then she would decide to go to SmackDown, go like, I'm going to slay that demon that I couldn't slay from, NXT. That's kind of where I'm seeing Ember Moon. Her time is coming, not now.
Yeah. And I just think this is a good time to kind of heat Sasha Banks back up. And I think that she's an easy character or wrestler to do that with as well. Like, she doesn't always have to be, in the front and center, but she's big enough to where you can put her to the side, and this is a perfect way to like heat her back up, I think. So Sasha Banks.
Well, I like that, but you mentioned Becky Lynch as a dark horse. I'm going to go with Becky Lynch in this one. I think she's kind of not really been doing a whole lot. Mm-hmm. I feel like this could really put her back into a... I've heard I'm not copying directly from other YouTubers, but like this has kind of been a general consensus among the internet and YouTube. But I feel like Becky Lynch could be put back in that title scene by winning the Women's Money in the Bank. I could see her like holding the briefcase and then just being like not cashing in on like a downed Asuka or a down Carmella. I could see her just saying like, you know what, at SummerSlam, I want you. Mm-hmm. It could be like, I want to test myself against Asuka if Asuka wins, or I could see her saying, I'm going to show you how to cash in the right way, and I'm going to beat your ass to Carmella. Yeah. I could see either one of those going in either one of those directions. So I think Becky Lynch would be the right woman to do that with.
It's kind
possibly
the
Charlotte,
same.
but a little bit more Becky Lynch. Maybe.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be a good way to kind of revive her.
Yeah, it's similar to the Sasha Banks pick too, and that she's was at one point a lot bigger deal than she is now, but this is a good way to get her back to those glory days.
Right. Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. So finally we make it to the men's.
What's going to main event this, though?
It's pretty interesting because if the title matches come before the Money in the Bank matches, you got a whole other way, like if AJ and Shinsuke main event, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody comes in and cashes in, but if the men's Money in the Bank main event, which I've seen it, it's done that before.
Mm-hmm. I kind of think it should.
Yeah, if that's the main event, then...
Really, I actually think AJ and Shinsuke should main event, but...
It'll probably steal the show if they go to their potential, but...
Yeah, I think the men's Money in the Bank will be the better of the two, and I think that it should main event if Shinsuke AJ doesn't, right. which it won't, for whatever reason, but...
Well, let's read through the participants here. We have Braun Strowman versus Finn Balor versus The Miz versus Rusev versus Bobby Roode versus Kevin Owens versus Mojo versus a member of the New Day. Well, we're gonna split this up into two different predictions. First prediction: will be, which member of the New Day do you think will be in the Money in the Bank ladder match? And then the second prediction is, who have you got and why? And you're the resident New Day fan of the... not that I'm not a New Day fan, but he's a bigger New Day fan.
I know everyone's saying Big E, but I'm going to say Kofi. This is Kofi's match, kind of. Although all three of them could make a good point. I wouldn't be surprised if it was any of the three.
I really don't see... I love Xavier, but I really don't see him.
He's the least likely, but I think I'm going to go with Kofi on who goes in at least. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with the crowd on this one. I think it's gonna be Big E. I think if anybody's gonna become a world champion in the New Day, it's Big E, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm okay with any of those guys really.
So I'm gonna go Big E. Who do you think's winning Money in the Bank this year?
That's a tough question. This is a really open match. I've been thinking about it the whole time, and I still don't really have a solid answer. Samoa Joe makes a lot of sense to win. Him having a briefcase is perfect for his character that he has, and the way he can use that. It'd be cool for Finn Balor to get it and just kind of have his I'm finally gonna get my rematch that I never got thing. But I think I gotta go with Samoa Joe. I think it makes the most sense as far as the way he's been up to this point, and it makes sense for his character to have it, and he could have some real good matches with whoever the champion is. I would love for the member of the New Day, whoever it is. My pick was Kofi Kingston. I would want for Kofi Kingston or Finn Balor or Bobby Roode to get it. One of those three I would be ecstatic. But I believe it will be Samoa Joe, who I also love, so it's not like I'm going to be mad. But.
Right. Once again, I like that pick. My prediction will be The Miz. I think The Miz is going to win Money in the Bank. Possibly cash in on AJ, get the title, and then, God willing, when they finally decide to realize, oh hey, maybe we should use Daniel Bryan as the main eventer that we know he is, and not just another fella. You can start doing that build up. And Miz doesn't have to cash in right away. He could cash in at the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. But you start that build for Miz and Bryan at WrestleMania. You could have Miz as champion going into WrestleMania. You could have Bryan finally get that Royal Rumble win that's always eluded him. Be it 2015 when he was thrown out. He had to retire in 2016, couldn't be in it. I believe he might have retired after the match. Yeah, he did. But still, he couldn't be in it in 2016. 2014, he wasn't even in the match. He finally gets that Royal Rumble win. He finally earns that title shot at WrestleMania for the match that at that point would be 2.5 years in the making. Mm-hmm. The Miz and Daniel Bryan, where everything kind of comes together for Bryan. You could even tell the story at the end of it. He finally respects the Miz because the Miz hung with him. There's so many. That's kind of how I envision it playing out. Whether that's going to happen, I don't know. I'm picking it just because I feel like that's a good long-term story to tell. Yeah. But then again, they've kind of been teasing it's going to be Samoa Joe, and then but then on the Raw side, things fucking Braun Strowman. Yeah. I think
Braun Strowman is one of the least likely to win it, in my opinion.
But the thing with Braun Strowman is he could finally get him to be hey Lesnar, no running now. You got to show up. Yeah. You got to show up and get these hands at SummerSlam.
The fantasy booking stuff for Miz, Daniel Bryan I would love for that to happen. I think it would be cool for Daniel Bryan to win the title and then have Miz cash in on him, and then have him win the Royal Rumble, or even I think that Miz needs to cash in on Daniel Bryan though, to set up either a rematch or something. Mm-hmm. Well, you could work his Royal Rumble win back into that as well if he that happens in December. But yeah, I agree that's a logical choice too. But yeah, I think that the New Day member, Braun Strowman, Rusev, Bobby Roode, and Kevin Owens all have very little chance.
I mean, I would love for it to be Rusev. I'd love for Rusev Day to just...
And hey, they might, I think that they have very little chance, but honestly, any of these 8 dudes could, they could throw us a curveball here. Especially if they want to go back to, the way the Money in the Bank kind of originally was, where it was kind of anyone could get it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love for them to go back to that style of Money in the Bank match, and I kind of hope they do. Give it to someone unexpected like a Rusev or a Bobby Roode or a Big E or Kofi Kingston.
Similar to when Bryan, Jack Swagger, Punk, when you're like, oh hey, didn't expect that one.
Yeah, even like Edge and Mr. Kennedy, like they weren't main event guys already.
Edge was kind of starting that build though.
He was, but he'd never been the champion.
He'd never been the champion, but like. I remember kind of thinking, like, Edge would have been like, like when Edge went like, hey, that's a good choice, because he's, they want to make him the champion eventually, like, this is kind of a good way to get it there. Mr. Kenny, like, I felt the same way, and it just didn't pan out, but...
But just I don't really... I always like this match better as, like, I almost feel like you should not be able to be in it if you've been champion. Like, I like it as just, like, a up-and-comer type of thing. Like, maybe not make that an official rule, but, like, if I was in charge of WWE, it would be all dudes who've never had the title before. And that'd be, maybe a little harder to do in the women's division because it's a little lighter. But, I mean, we're getting there to where it could be like that. But, yeah.
That's pretty much it. Yeah.
So the final rundown, I have Daniel Bryan over Big Cass, Seth Rollins over Elias. We disagree on Daniel Bryan, so that's one. I'm Daniel Bryan, you're Big Cass. We're both Seth Rollins, we're both Lashley, we're both Roman. We're both Carmella, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I said Asuka wins, but she's not going to win the title. So I guess we kind of are actually split on that, but... I don't even remember what I said for that one. Nia Jax wins by screw.
I said Ronda maybe wins by.
Yeah, okay.
DQ.
I was Shinsuke, you were AJ. Mm-hmm. I said Sasha Banks, you said Becky Lynch. Yep, and I said Samoa Joe.
I said Miz.
So we're not other than the matches that we don't care about, we're pretty much split on all the rest of
everything.
Yeah, so
and you can join us next week to watch No Punishment because we ain't about that here. Sorry. I can't bring myself to actually bet on sports with a non-predetermined outcome, so I God bless the people that bet on a predetermined outcome.
Yeah.
Just can't do that. But yeah, pretty well split. That's pretty much it for this week because he hasn't seen Takeover yet. Go watch Takeover if you haven't. I'm gonna get lynch mobbed by all the New Japan fans, but this show is not as good as Dominion, but it bit at its heels a little bit. And yeah, I'm gonna catch a lot of shit from all the New Japan fans going, that's impossible. But no, I guess this show was top to bottom pretty fucking good, and you should go out of your way to watch it. Yeah, so that is pretty much it for the wrestling recap show this week. You can follow him on Twitter at
Fake Nick P.
There's
an underscore in there somewhere.
Yeah, he doesn't tweet a lot, but just make him feel good and add him. You can, if you like to watch more videos, please, check out the rest of them. And if you enjoyed them, please subscribe, share. Have videos on the channel, not just about wrestling, but for comic books and all things geek culture. And if you'd like more content, please go like the Facebook page at facebook.com/athleticgeek89. But for Nick, I am the Athletic Geek. We are just two marks. And we're out. Later.